Hey, what's up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are going to be doing an SR tier list for VE Tower. Now in my last UR tier list for VE Tower, I said that if we got 70 likes, I would be doing this video. We did not quite get 70 likes yet. We might be on our way there, but I just couldn't wait to do this video any longer. So instead what I decided to do was combine the PvP and PvE tier list like count videos, and we definitely reached the 70 likes and even more than 70 likes between the two videos added together. So here I am doing this video for you guys. I went and made all these assets from the My Hero Ultra Impact database made by Hydros. If you haven't checked that out yet, go check that out. And I will link these in the description in a Google Drive folder if you guys want to make your own tier list. The reason these are nice is because it shows the typing, unlike the previous tier list where it only had the picture and it has the names. So if you guys want these, go check that out in the description. Now, before we get started with this SR tier list, I'm just going to say I have placed all of these already up above, and if you want any explanations for why I put characters where I put them, you can ask me in the comments. If you disagree, put that in the comments as well. You know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. And then additionally, something is a little bit different about this tier list from the previous tier list I've done, which is this line right here, which is JP exclusives. To the best of my knowledge and from what I could glean by asking other people who play JP, these are the characters who are JP exclusive characters, so we're not going to talk about them in our global VE Tower tier list. We are just going to leave them there in the JP exclusives. They're not covered at all, so that doesn't mean they're at the bottom of the tier list. They're just not being covered in the tier list in general. Okay, so keep that in mind when you guys are looking at this tier list. And then as we go through this, we are going to go through the to be determined characters down here and place them into the tier list. I will do this type of tier list once every few months. I'm not going to do it all the time. So right now, it is the first anniversary for JP, and it's been a few months since the game came out on Global back in February. That means we have quite a few SRs to talk about. And I will do this video in a couple more months when we have more SRs to talk about as well. So that is something to keep in mind, guys. And then we are going to start by talking about Inasa, and then Camie, Shigaraki, so on and so forth. So starting with Inasa, this is hopefully going in order for the most part in the way they released from February up till now. I would say Inasa is generally a C rank character. So let me explain why I'm going to put him in the C rank or a rarely used character in VE Tower. So if you don't know, VE Tower is all about getting your status elements, it's about getting your crits, it's about getting your technical hits. Inasa can get status elements, and I think he can get one technical hit. Other than that, he can't really get any, he doesn't have any built-in crit. He has a low chance to get his status ailments, medium chance on his plus ultra, but low on his action skill, which isn't very good. And then one technical hit is okay, whereas there's other characters who have like technical hit and critical hit in one move. So I'm going to put Inasa down here in C tier just because he's just, he doesn't have a great kit that meshes well with others. He also doesn't have like any plus ultra raise for all characters on the team, which is also another really good thing to have in VE Tower when you're trying to hit the 5+ ultras in less than 6 to 7 turns. Alright, so he goes in C tier. The next character we're going to deal with is Camie. Camie is going to go up into S tier. I'm putting Camie in S tier because she has Charms, which is a status element. She has technical hits. She has Confuse, which is another possible status element. She raises plus ultra gauge for the whole team. Like, she does it all. She is absolutely insane. The only reason she actually doesn't go into double S tier, where she can be used anywhere, is because she lacks damage. And because if you lack damage with Camie, you might not be able to clear the VE Tower in the amount of turns you need unless you have really built characters. She ends up in S tier instead of double S tier, so keep that in mind. Okay, and then Shigaraki is the next character who came out along with Toga. I think they came out around the same time. I don't know if one of them is free to play or one of them is summonable. I can't honestly remember at this point in time, so I'm going to just go over them in the order I have them. Shigaraki can fear, and he has a higher chance to fear against strength type opponents, and that is pretty good. He also has technical hits where he can I believe, raise his own crit rate. I believe, let me double check. No, sorry, not raise his own crit rate, decrease the opponent's crit rate. So that's his tech hit. And then he also has the auto skill to increase crit rate of all allied League of Villains characters, which is pretty good to raise crit. So he's raising crit, he has technical hits, and he can fear enemies and do status ailments. However, because he's limited to League of Villains characters, I would put him in the specific scenario characters, or B tier, because he can't quite help all characters. If he was able to help all characters by raising crit rate of all characters, he would be even better. Okay, and next we're going to talk about the Blue SR Toga. Blue SR Toga has a plus ultra that can bleed with a medium chance. It's pretty decent. She has a action skill that can decrease opponent's defense for a technical hit. She has another action skill which increases her own crit, and then she has an auto skill which increases her crit if enemies are taken down. And so in VE towers where there's 2 enemies or 3 enemies, if you take 1 or 2 of them down, she increases her own crit even further, making Toga a very good character. But I would still put her in specific scenario characters because she only raises her crit by a lot if enemies are taken down. And then additionally, she has a built-in crit rate of 15, whereas some characters only have a built-in, or most characters only have a built-in crit rate of 10, so that makes her even better as an SR character. She might even be like, there might be an argument for putting her in A tier, but for now I'm going to put her in B tier, just mainly because you have to take down enemies to increase her crit rate and get the full use out of her kit. Alright, next we're going to talk about Red Kirishima. Red SR Kirishima is second or third, I guess, only to the UR Kirishimas. There are 2 UR Kirishimas. I would say this is the third best Kirishima in game. He was a summonable Kirishima, and unfortunately, he doesn't really do any status ailments. He doesn't really do any crits or technical hits. So when it comes to VE Tower, this Kirishima does not rank highly. He actually is a bit of a trash can. A bit of a trash can when it comes to that Kirishima. Don't get me wrong, I love him. He is like a great SR character, has a great kit, especially when it comes to just clearing PvE for the first time, or using, if you don't have a PvP character, he can be decent in PvP as well. I mean at lower ranks at least, maybe not at the higher ranks, but Kirishima, great character, just not good in VE Tower. We're gonna put him in F tier, unfortunately. That is where he is gonna have to go. And then next, I want to talk about the Mina Ashido. Mina was a free-to-play character. She can decrease the opponent's defense by 10% for 3 turns with her plus ultra, and she can cancel buffs. Canceling buffs is really cool, but it's not really all that helpful when it comes to VE Tower, and it doesn't count, I don't believe, for a technical hit or anything like that. Decreasing opponent's defense does, so her action skill, or her plus ultra, is still a technical hit, but that's about it for her plus ultra. Her action skill can decrease opponent's power and cancel buffs, so that's another technical hit. That's good for her. But then her second action skill only shortens action skill cooldown by 1 of all allies. That's actually pretty decent, so she could be useful in shortening allies' action skills, but then besides that, it doesn't do anything else. It's not a technical hit or anything like that. And then her auto skills are also fairly, like, not super useful when it comes to VE Tower. Like, she can increase her plus ultra gauge if an ally gets knocked out, but you don't want allies knocked out in VE Tower, so she's not going to be great. I would put her probably in C tier because she can reduce action skill. Otherwise, she would probably be lower than that, but because she can reduce action skill for allies, I'll put her in C tier. Next, we have Yellow Uraraka. The Yellow Uraraka has the ability to create barriers and heal your team and increase plus ultra gauge by 15%. The increasing plus ultra gauge is good, and the barriers and all that stuff. However, she doesn't really have technical hits or critical hits unless you put a memory on her to do those things. So unfortunately, Yellow Uraraka, I would put like in not quite F tier, probably D tier, because she's not quite a C tier unit either, and she definitely can have her uses. She's not F, like she's not a don't use her at all, but she's just not super great. All she does is increase plus ultra, so I'm gonna put her here when it comes to increasing your score in VE Tower, getting those status elements, crits, and things like that. She's definitely not the best. All right, next we have Kendo. Kendo is one of the newer summonable SR units. Kendo is an interesting character alongside Monoma, who is the farmable free-to-play character that came out. Kendo has 2 technical hits, one with her plus ultra, one with her action skill. And then besides that, she can increase her own skill impact when she drops below a certain amount of health, or if there's any UA characters on the team. But besides that, Kendo doesn't do a whole lot. She doesn't have status elements. She doesn't have built-in crit or anything like that. So because she only has technical hits, 2 technical hits, which is okay, I'm going to put her as well in probably D tier because she only does one thing. And you'll notice that kind of trend. D tier is like people who hurt themselves and have weird things, or just only really do one thing, and that's not that great. After that, we're going to talk about the free-to-play Monoma. I actually used this guy recently in some of my VE Tower runs. I have since switched him out, but he was helpful for me originally doing my VE Tower runs. He has 2 potential technical hits, and he can also decrease the skill impact of opponents with his auto skill, which is okay. And he can draw aggro and reduce damage. But really all he does, once again, is technical hits. So I'm going to put him in about the same place as Kendo. Very similar when it comes to the description of their kits and how they work in VE Tower. Obviously they're different, but they have similar kit builds, I guess you could say. And then that brings us to the brand new Destruction Mirio, who came out with the anniversary. So when this guy was announced, when I saw him, I was like, okay, he seems interesting. How will he compare to this red Mirio, who you can see I put in double S tier? And I am honestly pleasantly surprised, very pleasantly surprised with this guy. So for his plus ultra move, he has the ability to confuse, and if he has an evasion, that gives him a higher chance to confuse, like a medium chance to confuse. I think I don't know the exact percentage on that, I'd actually have to go look, but it increases his chance to confuse. So that's a status element he gets with this plus ultra. That's good. His first action skill decreases opponent's critical hit rate by 40%, so that's a technical skill, which is also good. And then his Phantom Counter, which is his next action skill, gives the character ability to nullify normal attacks and counter for 2 turns. So that's additional, if they attack Mirio, additional hits you might get, where you can hit a critical, and if you hit that critical, it's going to add to your score. And then also this Phantom Counter increases his critical hit rate by 30%, so there you go. It also increases his crit, which is really good too. So you're getting potentially extra crits with this Mirio on your team. And then he has his auto skills, of course, that give him evasion for every 3 critical hits he receives, which is really good. And then it's also going to increase his plus ultra gauge by 25% for every 3 non-critical hits he receives. So that makes him good for VE Tower when you're trying to get your plus ultras within 6 to 7 turns as well, if he takes non-critical hits. And then lastly, his last auto skill, just to put the icing on the cake, it increases critical hit rate of all ally big 3 characters on the team. This by 20%. That's a really high percentage. That's really good for an SR character. I don't know how often you're really going to be running all 3 big 3 characters in VE Tower together. But the other 2 big 3 characters are obviously good on their own. They have, Sun Eater has the bind, and then Najire has the technical hits and stuff like that. So they can definitely be run together with this Mirio and be a fairly decent VE Tower team. So for this Mirio, I would probably put him, just because I'm not sure where he's going to end up yet, and because he's limited to increasing crit rate of the big 3 instead of all characters, I would put him here. Because he has additional crits with his counters, he has status elements with his plus ultra, he has technical hits, and he can increase the crit of his team if they are big 3 members, making him a very, very good SR character for VE Tower. And then this last character right here is the brand new SR Kaminari that was announced. Now, we have seen his kit on paper. I am not, however, going to rank him just yet. I'm going to save him probably for the next SR VE Tower video, because I want to try him out before I rank him. I don't want to give him more credit than he is due without trying him out, but he is looking very good, and if he turns out as good as I hope he does, I think he'll definitely be A tier or above, but we will see when he comes out, guys. Who knows? That is it for the SR tier list video. I know it's a little bit big. This is 60 characters, guys. It's hard to fit it all on one screen. I zoomed out and everything. So if you were able to follow along with the scrolling and stuff like that, hopefully it was all right. Hopefully this will help you out in the game a little bit. If you guys enjoyed the content, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me some comments if you agreed or disagreed on anything, if you want to make any extra points or stuff like that. And then if you guys leave me comments, I have started a new TikTok for My Hero Ultra Impact, for Dragon Ball Legends, for Dokkan Battle, and what I'm going to be doing on that TikTok, I've already done a few of these, is I'm going to be going over YouTube video comments, answering some of your comments live. I'm going to be doing Reddit videos where we go through the Dokkan Battle Reddit, the Ultra Impact Reddit, the Dragon Ball Legends Reddit, and just reacting to things on there. So a bunch of new content. I will also post some like big moments from this YouTube channel, like when we pull something we didn't expect to pull, or just funny moments that happen on my channel, guys, in that TikTok. So TikTok down in the link below. Please go follow that as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, please show me some love. Like I said before, hit that subscribe button. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I can never say that word. And thank you for watching. Peace.